Welcome to your balanced stability workout. For this workout, you're going to need a band, just like this one here, or maybe a TheraBand, and access to some dumbbells, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. We'll get warmed up, 20 total of these, okay? First of all, a little thoracic, a little middle back opener. You can use a bench if you want to, if you don't have access to a bench or a chair. Elbows on your knees, drop your hips a little bit, flat back, and just rotate. Open one side, then the other, just back and forth, 20 total, so about 10 on each side. Now you don't want to feel this in your low back. You kind of want to think about the rotation starting like right around your ribs, your middle back, your thoracic. Opening here into your chest and shoulders. Might feel it in your bicep a little bit. So back and forth like that, maintaining good form, no discomfort in your low back, 20 total. The next little warm-up thing for your balanced stability workout, just some lateral leg swings. Hold on to something if you need to, but we're just going back and forth. So wall, chair, your friend, whatever you want to do. 20 of those on one side, then do 20 on the other. Okay, so 20 on each side. Don't worry about if you're going up to your shoulder height or just waist high. That's perfect, just opening up the hips, okay? Let's go ahead and get started. We have some extra core and balance today. 2 pairs of 3 exercises each for the core and balance. So we'll be doing everything in about 3 exercise groups. And this first group is, for your core and balance, 30-second holds of each of these, okay? Number 1, a one-leg squat hold. So not super easy, but let's do it anyway. Get started, bend the knee, hold. That's all you're doing. Here's a side view. Push your hip back, hands out to help you. So you could be here, but if you can get more depth, that's even better, as long as it doesn't bother your knee. Modification, you can always hold on to something so you can lean back a little bit more. 30 seconds on each side, so just hold it. The next one, go ahead and line your back. We're going to hold a bridge, 30 seconds. You've done bridges before. Push up, hold. That's it. You know how to do a bridge? 30-second hold right here. The third one in this group, lie on your side, side plank. So side plank can progress from this to maybe this to, of course, right here. But roll that top shoulder back, shoulder stacked on top of shoulder, hip on top of hip, and feet scissored or stacked, or of course one or both knees bent. 30 seconds for the side plank on each side. Go ahead and do that again, so 2 sets of those 3 exercises. So the next group of 3, we're going to count these. 2 sets of 15. Go ahead and stand up with or without weight for this one. Hip hinge. So it's going to fire up the glutes. You'll feel it in your hamstrings. So pick up one foot. You're going to push your hip back. Touch if you can. If not, no big deal. So here's a side view, pushing your hip back. Now if that's too aggressive for you to go down that deep, because I don't want your back to bend, I want your back to stay straight, I want you to push your hip back. Maybe there's a chair, or maybe you just go down to knee high. And of course each time if you need to tap your toe to help with balance, that's fantastic. 15 of those on each leg. Now back down to the ground for a plank reach. Of course, 2 versions here. Legs straight or knees down if you need to. But you're going to be in a plank. Good setup for a plank. Flat back, core tight. Here's the reach part. Okay, the challenge of the reach. 15 reaches each arm. The challenge of the reach is not to rock and roll, but to keep everything nice and stable. Only extending that arm. But you're transferring the loads side to side, working on that lateral strength and stability. The last one in this 3 exercise set, 2 sets of 15 for these 3. Lie on your back, feet up, hands down. That might be enough. If you want to do more, one leg lowering, tap the heel, bring it up. Now if your legs are right here because you're a little bit tighter, that's fine. You can even bend your knees. And here's a modification. But either way, one leg at a time, you'll feel it in your core. And this, as opposed to like just a basic leg raise up and down, so much easier on the low back. you really focus in on control. You focus in on keeping a nice, stable pelvis. Okay, that's your second set of 3, 2 sets of 15 for those last 3 exercises. Moving on to the movement section. Lateral step, band pull. Give me a nice underhand grip to help keep your shoulders back and down. Let's get those scaps squeezing. Step out, squeeze back. Step out, squeeze back. Go 15 total pulls. Just stepping out as far as you can. Squeeze back. Here's a side view. No hunching. Perfect posture, okay? Squeeze back, shoulder blades squeeze together. So 15 of those. That's the first one in this set of 3 exercises. Next one, a back lunge pulse. As long as it doesn't bother your knee, and we can modify it if it does. Big back lunge, so you've got a split squat set up, that knee over the ankle. Pulse, 2, step back, pulse, 1, 2. So 15, and each of the 15 on each leg will have 2 pulses. So pulse, pulse, just alternate your legs if you want to, that's great. That's way too easy for you, grab a couple dumbbells. Put somebody on your back, whatever you want to do to make it a little more challenging. So 15 of those on each side with, remember, the 2 pulses for each rep. Okay, and this last of the 3 here of this group, airplane switches. So, again, light weights if you want. I've got a couple small little things here I'm going to use. These are about 2.5 pounds. You can do this with or without weight. Weight's going to add a little more element, a little bit more work in your upper back and the rotator cuff muscles back there. Push your hips back. Arms come out to your side. Alternate your legs, 15 each side. Core super tight. Don't fall over. Coaching tip, don't fall over. So one side then the other, again, with or without weight. Palms forward, thumbs up if you can, because that'll target the rotator cuff a little bit extra. Okay, let's move into the strength portion. This is where you need some dumbbells. We're going to start with curls, but in a different way. So grab some weights that you like to use for curls. Let's see here. Got my giant looking weights that aren't really that heavy. That's the secret. One leg forward. Right, left leg forward in my case. We're going to switch, each time. Arms hanging down, shoulders back. Look how flat my back is. Woohoo! Core tight. My ribs are hovering over that front leg. Curls from that position. 15 curls, okay? 15 curls. Now, put your other leg forward. Grab some heavier row weights, okay? We're going to row next, but same position with the opposite leg forward. So imagine I have heavier weights now. My ribs are floating over that front thigh. Steam engine curls, so one arm then the other. Alternate arms. 15 each side. Notice my back is still nice and flat. You'll feel it in that front leg. So try not to be up here, or try not to bend over. I want a good, not quite parallel, but nice flat back, steam engine curls. You should feel it in that front hip. That leg's doing a lot to support your body. Okay, that's the second one. Remember, 15 reps, 2 sets of each of these. Front squat next. And again, these workouts are designed so you go 1, 2, 3 through the groups of 3, and then go back to the top, 1, 2, 3. Front squat with or without weight, but if you do that front squat, barbell or dumbbells up here, good flat back, good setup, nice wide stance, push your hips back, 15 squats. Okay, 15 squats. All right, it is time for your recovery. Let's put your fingers together. Let's push your palms away. Bring it overhead. Okay. Shoulders should feel fine here. Now from here, push, kind of laterally flex, pushing your ribs to the side. And that's all you're doing. Hold that about 30 seconds. Shouldn't bother your low back. Back off a little bit if it starts to tweak your low back. 30 seconds one side, and then push up, reset, 30 seconds on the other side. Now notice I'm not twisting. Everything's aligned and flush. That's your first little cool down exercise. Number 2, feet nice and wide, really wider than your hips. Take your left hand, come down, grab your right ankle, pulling your head toward that right foot. Hold it for 30 seconds. Then you walk over to the other side. Same deal, different side. So the idea is grabbing that opposite leg, you're going to get a little more stretch. It's not just hamstring, but you're going to feel it in your upper back, the rotator cuff back there, teres minor, inverse spinatus, you know all those words. Last thing, kneel down or seated. If your low back's bothering you, I don't want you to go far at all. Let's just think about extension, even to a little bit. You can kneel down, you can be seated if you want to, and if you're seated, you can put your hands in your low back or on the bench or chair. Otherwise, right here, see how my heel of my hand is in my low back, fingers pointing downward, roll my shoulders back and down. That might be enough. Next up, though, we're going to progress through it, pushing your shoulders back, elbows back, look up, hips go forward a little bit, and with support, a little supported back bend, like a bit of a camel, if you know the yoga pose. And hold that as long as you can. It may not be 30 seconds, but when you come up with a nice, tight stomach. You can repeat that several times if you can't hold it that long. So that was your balanced stability workout.